the winter of 2000, I suffered a catastrophic injury, as you can probably imagine. It was a life-changing experience for me, for my family, for friends. I spent 5 months in a rehabilitation hospital here in Philadelphia. And at that moment, you have to relearn everything from getting up in the morning, getting dressed, how to tie your shoes, how to go to the bathroom, how to talk to someone who's going to take care of you. All those things enter into the rehabilitation process. And one of those things in particular they teach you in rehab is how to fall properly out of your wheelchair. But you can never really quite be prepared for the first time that you fall out of your wheelchair. So fast forward to a year and a half post-injury, I went back to college. I was at Middlebury College in Vermont, and I was nudged by a lot of friends and family to go back to school. And that winter I had found out that I had been nominated by my peers to carry the Olympic torch in the 2002 relay that was going around the country and eventually ending up in Salt Lake City in February. And it was sponsored by none other than Coca-Cola, who paid a nice phone call to my apartment that semester in college saying that I had been nominated, and it was incredibly exciting. I was, not quite ready or prepared for what the whole meaning of the event was going to be. A few weeks later, I get a package in the mail, and it's this beautiful white, sort of athletic suit that was shiny and glowed in the dark. Had this fancy logo on it. It was like 3 times too big for me. I sort of felt like Catherine O'Hara and Waiting for Guffman, that sort of like, yeah, exercise, Olympics. And the theme was lighting the fire within that had been brought to us none other than our lost candidate, Mitt Romney. In any case, so the night of the torch relay that was coming up through Philadelphia, my mom and I drive down to Broad Street early that afternoon. We get to have our picture taken with the iconic figure of Philadelphia, Benjamin Franklin. Wasn't Patti LaBelle or Isaac Hama, but Benjamin Franklin. And I really wanted to have my picture taken with him for such a long time. And that was really a really special moment in the day. But I have to say that the most important thing in that moment was actually getting to meet all of the other people that had been nominated. And 12,000 people in the country were actually nominated to carry the torch that year. And you all pile into a van and you wait for the flame to drive up the coast from wherever city it was coming. And you're in a van, you're piled with a lot of people. Everybody tells their story of how they got nominated. A firefighter who had rescued a man out of a building, a neighbor who had given someone a kidney, and it was incredibly heartfelt. So we're driving around in this van, we're still waiting for the flame to come up through the city, and our bus driver wasn't familiar with Philadelphia, and we were right down on Broad Street by the stadium and decided to take kind of like a shortcut, which ended up being a wrong turn, and we ended up in New Jersey. Yeah. So there are probably 5,000 people that are lined up on Broad Street waiting for the torch carriers that are in New Jersey. So we finally get there, we're like, people are getting off the van, I get on this wheelchair lift, get down, my whole family is there. I am absolutely elated, tears of joy. It was the most marvelous thing I had ever experienced in my life, because I finally had the support of all these people that I had gotten letters from and had been writing to me all this time. So we go out and we do a lot of partying, a lot of drinking in South Philadelphia. I get home that night, and at this point in my rehabilitation, I had yet to learn how to transfer myself into my bed. But I was like, I'm in this shiny white suit. I just carried the fucking Olympic torch. My family is here, my friends are here. I'm going to get myself into bed tonight. And I'm going to wear this thing to bed. This is going to be my pajamas. So I start to like cozy up to the bed, I slide my transfer board under my butt, and I'm kind of on the edge, and I'm sort of like 1, and a 2, and I'm like kind of on the edge, and I'm sort of like, I'm falling, I think I'm falling, I'm falling, and then I fall. And my family comes rushing in, and they see me lying down on the ground, and I'm kind of in this sort of like on my knees, but I've just slid into home plate kind of position. And they pick me up, they're all concerned, and it was incredibly metaphorical for me in that moment because I'd had such a high out of this day, and then I'd been brought down to such a low. But it was also incredibly metaphorical for the way that my rehabilitation had been for the past 1.5 years. And I was remembered by something that Christopher Reeves actually once said to me when I got to meet him in person, was that when you go down to the bottom of a pool when you're a little kid, you got to reach the bottom before you push yourself back up to the top. And reaching the bottom for me happened, and rising back up to the top happened that very day. And it just so happened to be the same day was the first time I ever fell out of my wheelchair. So to rise up back to the top was really amazing, and the fact that I got to do it in this really cool shiny white suit was even better. Thank you.